Well, this is one hungry cat. 1 apple, 2 apple, 3 apple, 4 apple, 5 apples, 6 apples. This cat ate 6 apples. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is our first project. This is Hungry Cat. I'm going to teach you how we can make this cat follow this mouse, how it can eat all of those apples, and maybe a few other things might be up my sleeve. So stick around and let's learn something. All right, for our first challenge, for our first mini game, we're going to create one called Hungry Cat. Now, I'm getting all of these from a book that I have called 20 Games to Create with Scratch, Become a Super Coder. This is a book that is created by, or was created by, written by Max Wainwright. And anyways, it's a very excellent resource, and this is where I'm getting all of this from. So this one is called Hungry Cat. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a new file, and I'm going to go up here. I'm going to click this, and I'm going to call this Hungry Cat, just so that that's how it will be saved. Well, I want this cat to go and feed on some fruit, and for this particular game, our game is going to begin. I like to always begin my games by pushing the space key. Others will like to do this by, or start their game by pushing the green flag, which is up here, but I prefer using the keyboard, so I use the space key. If you remember back from the Scratch beginnings, we introduced you to some loops, a control block called the forever loop, and you see how it snaps right into that event loop there, or into that event code there. Make sure that your codes snap together. If they don't snap together, they are not going to work. So what I want to do is I want the cat to follow my mouse around the screen, and I showed you this. If you watched the beginner video, I showed you how we're going to do that. That is a motion block, and we are going to point towards the mouse pointer, and it defaults to a speed of 10 steps, but that's going to be a little fast, and that's going to make the game really easy. So let's change that to 5 steps. That's a better speed to work with. We're going to stop that there. So when I click my spacebar, I want to see if this is actually working. And we know it is. We tested it. You saw it. I'm going to hit the stop there. All right. We've got our cat sprite. I always like to name my sprites. By default, they just go in sequential order. Sprite 1, Sprite 2, Sprite 3, Sprite 4. I don't like that. As we progress into computer science and as we progress into our coding, it's going to become more and more important to label our sprites properly. So this one, I'm going to call cat, and I'm going to hit enter. And you can see here the sprite name here is cat, and underneath here it is cat. Now I want to get some fruit for this cat. So I'm going to select a new sprite. I'm going to add a sprite. Right down here, choose sprite. And you've got a few options here. We can choose a sprite by choosing the magnifying glass. We can paint our own sprite. We can have a surprise sprite, or we can upload a sprite that maybe we have created in a paint program. I'm just going to choose a sprite instead. Let's go for the apple. It's right there, and I have my apple here. My code, if you take a look at my center screen here, has disappeared. What happened to my code? It hasn't really disappeared. If I go back and click on the cat, there's my code. I know that this is the code for my cat because my cat sprite is selected. And up here in the corner, I see a picture of the cat sprite. I'm going to select the apple, but code disappears because we haven't coded the apple yet. I know I'm on the apple because I have it highlighted here, and I can see that it is up here. Now, how did I start my game? I started my game using an event of pressing the space key. When I push the space key, I want my apple to show. So I'm going to click on looks, scroll down to show. I'm going to put it there. And I'm going to use a loop next. So under control, forever, if, then statement will come next. If my apple is sensing, so touching my cat sprite, here it says mouse pointer, I'm going to use the cat sprite instead. I simply want that apple to hide. So back into the looks coding area, I want my apple to hide. So when I push the space bar, the apple is going to show, and forever it's going to be sensing the cat. If it touches the cat, it is going to hide. At the same time that I push spacebar, my cat is going to be moving towards my mouse pointer. So let's see how this works. So I've got my mouse over here. I'm going to hit the spacebar, and here we go. Here we go. Let's see what happens when we touch the apple, and it disappears. Awesome. So we know so far that is working. So the game right now is set up. I've got one apple, just to see if the code is working. But we could also do something to this apple, and we can make more and more apples. So I'm just going to hit spacebar one more time, just so you can see the apple, and I'm going to stop my game. I'll head over to my sprite pane. I will right-click on the apple, and I'll duplicate it. This is apple number 2. Duplicate it, apple number 3. Duplicate it, apple number 4. Duplicate it, apple number 5. Duplicate it, apple number 6. We can do as many different or as many apples as we want. We're going to give it a little bit more space by clicking and dragging, and you can see that X and Y coordinates are moving around. We did that in the beginning video. And now let's see what happens when I push spacebar. And the hungry cat is not so hungry anymore. The cat's going around and is eating all of the apples. All the apples are gone. They have been eaten. And the cat now is going to be forever happy because its tummy is full. All right, that's it for Hungry Cat. Thanks for watching.